Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Rotobeast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Thursday, February 13th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't come and checked out our website here at DfsDudes.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including the complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel and DraftKings cash lineup. Say we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at DfsCheatSheet.com. Say what up, Jeremy? How you doing out there, bro?
To say, bro, it's a sad day.
Yeah, for sure. No NBA for a week. And you know what that means for me, man. I have to dabble into a little bit of NHL. Hey, I never play NHL, but during the NBA All-Star break, I always play NHL, man. So, hey, going to be doing that for the next couple of days. Have a little bit of fun with that. But, hey, man, we still got 2 games on tonight's slate. Still a bunch of big contests out there. Let's try to make some money tonight and head into the All-Star break, finishing off the first half of NBA season strong.
So on that note, really quick, right? We have a really good NHL rider. He's cashed every single night with his cash lineup. It's going to be free on the website for the entirety of the All-Star break. Free NHL content. He drops a couple of lineups every single night. Had a G takedown 2 nights ago with I believe 226 NHL score. He posted the lineup in the article. So for the next basically for the next week, you're gonna get free NHL content on the site. So make sure and tap DFSDudes.com. Click on the NHL tab. Hot Puck Stacks is the name of the article. Really good stuff.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So you ready to jump in these two games real quick and kind of get them done?
The crazy thing, bro, 2 games at the same time, right? And then it's over.
Yeah, for sure. And the Boston and Clippers game both games should actually be pretty competitive games as well. I wish that they were right after each other, so at least it'd be a full night of watching a couple NBA games and kind of just relaxing a little bit. But yeah, man. So let's jump into it. Get it done. We'll start with the Clippers going into Boston to face the Celtics first.
I'm going to start with Zubac, man. I think that Zubac is in play today. He doesn't have a lot of minutes. He can get you, he'll play as many as 23 minutes, but he typically plays 16 to 17 minutes, and he comes close to a double almost every single time he gets at least 16 or 17 minutes. You just take a look at the little he's on right now. We'll take a look at the last games: 26, 24, 27, 28, 33. So your rule, you love targeting centers against Boston. We know Zubac is a pretty big man. He just doesn't get a run. But at 3,800 on a 2-game slate, I think you could definitely use Zubac. I think a lot of people will navigate toward Montrezl Harrell. A little bit more expensive, 5,600. He's a more popular play, but I think Zubac is definitely in play here. He starts, he'll play 20 minutes most likely, and like I said, he can get you to a double, and he can definitely get you 6x upside. Kawhi Leonard, 9,900. This is the guy with no Patrick Beverley that you have to consider. It's a 2-game. He's probably the highest usage guy on the slate, outside of possibly Chris Paul. And Brandon Ingram's out, Drew Holiday possibly as well. But this is a high usage guy. It's Kawhi Leonard, right? 900. He plays defense. He's handling the basketball, getting you assists. He's kind of their default point guard, moving the around. So I like him a lot as well. I'm not too big on Marcus Morris. I 5,200. I get the play. We have to see what happens with Brandon Ingram and if it's a pay down spot. Paul George, 8,300 is really getting eaten up by the usage of Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion. That's why you're just seeing his price kind of hang around the 300 mark. Plus, with Paul George, it's not like he's playing a lot of minutes. Until this previous game, he hadn't played 30 minutes in a long time. Played 19, 25, 24. Now he plays 35 against Philadelphia, but only 11 points, right? Only 11 real points and 33 fan points. So, Is Paul George Oladipo? Is he going to go bunkers at this price tag? On one of these spots, need to own him. I don't know. With a two game slate, obviously you're going to want to get exposure and to as many guys can playing multiple lineups. It's kind of the beauty of a two-game slate. You can back everybody up. But for me, I like Zubac. I like Leonard, and then obviously Lou Williams 500, Harrell 5,600. Those guys are in play as well too.
Yeah, really quick, just to touch on the Paul George thing. I mean, you kind of compared it to the to the Oladipo situation we've been talking about. The only thing I kind of want to touch on that, I mean, Paul George at 8,300, it's still not a give me price tag. You know what I mean? Yes, he's definitely giving us the upside, but we're talking about Oladipo at 5,000 when he's regularly an 8,000 player. Like, yeah, I honestly agree with you completely with the Paul George thing. It's Leonard's team. I mean, they've shown that it is what it is. On the Boston side of things, I mean, I think you start with Kemba Walker, 7,000, very fair price tag. I do like the fact that there is no Patrick Beverly, pretty good defender against point guards. Kemba Walker has slowed down a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but he still has the upside. We know what Kemba Walker brings in and night out. Now, 7,000 price tag on a 2-game slate, I definitely think you got to get some shares of him. Next, I'm going to go to Jaylen Brown, 5,700. If Jaylen Brown plays, he definitely is in play. If he does sit out, I definitely think that gives a big time bump to Marcus Smart at 4,900. I do think this Smart is in play either way, but I do like him a little bit more if Jaylen Brown does end up sitting today. Gordon Hayward at 6,800. I think he's a guy that you can look at. The minutes have been very consistent. He's definitely shown us some upside. He's a guy you can really look at. Jason Tatum at 8,800. Oh, man, I like Jason Tatum. The problem is if Jason Tatum is going to be matched up against Kawhi Leonard, it's a really, really tough spot. Kawhi Leonard is one of the top defenders in the league. But, I mean, we got to continue to say it is a 2-game slate, so any guy could go off at any time. You do want to get a little bit of shares, especially if you're going to run 150 lineups, using our optimizer or something like that. You definitely want to lock in at least 5%. Tatum's a really good player. Anything can happen any night. So I think he is in play. And then Daniel Tice, he's a guy that they want to play him. He's the guy that's getting the most consistent minutes at the big guy spot for Boston. The guy's playing, 28 to 30 minutes a game. He's been playing very well as well. So I think he's a guy that you can look at 5,300 at the power forward spot. They're going to give you a pretty good floor. The only other guy, Kanter, it's all over the place with Kanter. We continue to say Kanter. When he gets minutes, he really produces. When he doesn't get minutes, he's not going to give you nothing. And his minutes have been up and down, 18, 17, 28, 25, 15. They've been all over the place. If you I'm going to continue to say if you are going to throw, 150 lineups and maybe in a couple lineups it's GPP Dart. He is coming in pretty cheap at 4,100. You only need 20 for value. But the main guys for me on Boston, I really like Walker. I like Hayward. Either way, I think those are my top 2 guys. We've got to wait on the Jaylen Brown situation. If he does play, he is in play. Marcus Smart's in play, but we got to wait on the news. And that's really where I'm at with Boston. Moving on, the other game we'll talk about, we got OKC going into New Orleans to face the Pelicans. Hey, man, I'm liking this Pelicans team, bro. I think they're going to get it together and make a big-time playoff push, man.
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent, man. We talked about it last year when the Lakers were trying to trade for Anthony Davis, and it looked like it didn't happen, and we couldn't believe that the Pelicans didn't take everything they were offering, because really, if you think about it, it changed the Pelicans a lot. The Lakers, they went over to New Orleans, basically their whole entire team, right? So they've got a lot of talent. Brandon Ingram, I just wish they could have that they had Julius Randle, correct?
Yeah, if they would have kept Julius Randle with this core, bro, that would have been nasty.
Julius Randle, Zion would have been so much better than Derek Favors. Zion. They should have. I think they should have went out of their way to try to keep Randle. Randle played really well there last 2.
Right, and I think honestly the biggest difference is they have a really young team, and Zion gets out and run. Everybody gets out and runs. Randle is a big that gets out and runs compared to Derek Favors is more of a slow pace. Big man. So if they would have had Randle with this team, bro, hey, they definitely, man, that would have been nasty, man, for sure. So yeah, man, go ahead and get us started on that OKC side of things, bro.
This is the last game for this All-Star break, and I think this is an important game. You take a look at the standings. The Thunder are 32-22, and your Pelicans are 23-31, right? They've won 3 straight though, and they have 6 of the last 10 games. So they're getting healthy. They're starting to put things together, and clearly, this is a chance for them to make a statement and put this streak at 4 games before they go into the All-Star break. But you got Chris Paul, you've got Gilgeous-Alexander, you've got Gallinari. I don't think he thought when Russell Westbrook was traded away from this team that the Thunder would be a playoff team. The only concern I have is Chris Paul. To be honest with you, Chris Paul, since they've kind of gotten this playoff hunt, he's had games where his minutes dip, and he'll 28 or 29 minutes. His price tag's fair at $7,800. This is going to be a trap. Chris Paul going back to the place where it started for him in New Orleans. You have to like Chris Paul in this spot, but just understand that there are games where they've been very careful with his legs once they figured out that they're a playoff team, and they've used Gilgeous-Alexander and your boy Schroeder a little bit more. I think Schroeder's in play. I think Nerlens Noel is in play. Definitely Steven Adams. Definitely Gallinari. Gilgeous-Alexander, Chris Paul. All these guys are in play. This is a track meet game. And one thing that I talked about yesterday in my podcast, I'll just touch on it because it's a 2-game slate on it really quick now. The NBA is so different, and we have to start taking into consideration. You and I do this video every morning, and we constantly same thing. This game's going to be a track meet. This game's going to be a track meet. This game's going to be a track meet, right? And part of the reason is you take a look at Houston. Houston leads the league in 3-pointers taken per game, okay? They're taking 91 shots per game, and they're taking 47 threes. So I'm not real good at math, but more than 50% of their shots are threes. Currently, right now in the NBA, I have at least 25 teams that are taking more than 33-point shots per game. So, you know, this run and gun type thing is here to stay, and you're going to have to start looking at guys who are taking, James Harden's taking threes a game, right? There's like Karl Anthony Towns is who's 15th, and he's taking 8.3 threes per game. So, the 3 is and you have to consider, and that puts me on Gallinari at 0.1. We know this is so underrated in my opinion. 6.1. We know what he's a skilled big guy. He has to stay healthy, but I think on this slate in the contest, Gallinari is gonna get overlooked because of Jaylen Brown, because of Marcus Morris, at 5,200, because of Gordon Hayward at 6,800. But Gallinari is one of my favorite plays on this slate. I think Gallinari is one of their plays on this slate, especially in this type of game to be a track meet.
Yeah, for sure. I like Gallinari, bro. Gallinari is a really good player. I've liked him going back to even when he was with New York. The guy gives us a little bit of upside. We got New Orleans. I think there's some obvious plays. You got Lonzo Ball. He's playing very, very well right now. Think about Lonzo Ball. We always talk about the different one, especially when we're talking about cash games, for example. We talk about guys who do all the secondary stuff, not just focus on scoring, and we look for good floors. And that's what Lonzo does. And, that's what Lonzo was doing last year, even with the Lakers. He's averaging 9 assists a game. He's going to get you about 7-8 rebounds, and then he's going to get you about 11 points. I mean, he does a little bit of everything, plays some good defense. He's been playing very well. So I think that Lonzo at 6,600 is honestly a little bit underpriced. He's a guy you can just put in your lineup and feel really, really comfortable with it. Another guy that you can look at, Jrue Holiday, 8,000. I think Jrue Holiday is a guy we could continue to play. And the difference is with the Pelicans compared to some other teams is usually teams if they have 4 or 5. For example, we'll look at the Clippers. We talked about the Clippers. The Clippers are a team. They're more of a slow-paced team. They bring the ball up. They're in a half-court set. So then, Paul George doesn't get his so much. Some of the other guys, Lou Williams, Harrell, they kind of one guy will go off, the other guys won't go off. Compared to, the Pelicans, they're a run and gun type team. So they're going to get an extra 15, 20, maybe, 25 shot attempts a game just because of the pace that they play. And that's why I think it's allowing, all these Pelican guys to get there. It's not just like, oh, this guy's going to get it one day, this guy's going to get it another day. So, yeah, man, you got Lonzo, Jrue Holiday, I think is a really good play at 8,000. Obviously, Zion is playing really, really good basketball right now at 7,700. Those 3 guys are the obvious plays that you look at on this Pelicans team. And then we got to wait and see what happens with Brandon Ingram. He has been out for 3 straight games. If Brandon Ingram does come back today, I think that you could look at him possibly as like a GPP play. I don't really care for the price tag too much. I'm more interested in Brandon Ingram being out today. If Brandon Ingram is out, I'm going to be looking at Josh Hart at 5,000. The guy's got, the starts in recent games with Ingram being out. And, hey, he's been playing well. 4 of the past 5 games, he's got you at least 32 fantasy points, being in that starting lineup, playing around 26 to 28 minutes. And, we're talking about 32 in 4 of the past 5. That's 6, almost 7x on this price tag. So I think he's a really good play if Brandon Ingram is out. So that's some news that I got to wait on. Derek Favors. We talked about it. I'm not really crazy about Derek Favors. But the thing I will say about Derek Favors is even in limited minutes, the guy still gets fantasy points. In 2 of the past 3, he's still got you 28 fantasy points at a 5,100 price tag. And, with Steven Adams being on the other side, I could see them having to play Derek Favors a little bit more, kind of keep him off the glass. Because I think if Zion went against Steven Adams, I think honestly Zion would probably get dominated in that particular matchup. So at 5,100, we're on a 2-game slate. We're looking for a guy that's going to come in low owned. I think Derek Favors could be a guy that could, you could play in a couple of GPP lineups just to kind of differentiate yourself. He's not going to be very owned. But the main guys for me, like I said, it's Ball, it's Holiday, Zion, and then if Ingram is out, then I really like Josh Hart in this spot as well. And that's really where I'm at with the Pelicans.
So, just quick, because you mentioned, right, with the extra shot attempts and all of that in this game, right? In this game, there's a couple of guys that have a tremendous amount. Bro, 10 years ago or even further back, if a guy went like 2-5 from 3-point line and was a 40% 3-point shooter, that was crazy good, right, dude? Right. In this game, JJ Redick averages just 6.5 threes per game. Lonzo Ball 6.41. Josh Hart 5.8. Drew Holiday 5.2. Gallinari 7.37. Schroeder 5.25. So these guys are taking a ton of threes. And I know on DraftKings with the bonus for 3-point shot made, you have this is something you're gonna have to start taking into consideration. And you're a basketball coach. Whenever you have a lot of threes taken, there's the ability for what? The long rebound and the fast break and the route, and it just picks up pace of the game. At a point yesterday, a lot of people criticized him, and it hasn't worked out great for them with trading Capella away, but they're the first ones to kind of emphasize philosophy. We wanted to take a 3 or get a layup within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, and who'd they go get? A 3-and-D wing, Robert Covington, right? That's all the guy does. He plays defense. He knocks 3. So,
right.
Just like you talked about the ball playing very solid, but he's taking 7 threes a game. You got to throw that out there, and it's something we have to start talking about.
Yeah, and just really quick getting out of here, it's like even like for my school, as a basketball coaches, we average 20 more shots than every other team. We want to get the ball up within 5 to 7 seconds and go get a basket, not even let defensive get back and set in. And at the end of the day, that's an advantage. If you got the personnel to play that way, you're going to run people out the gym. Like a perfect example would be like a Utah team, who Utah kind of just wants to come down, go bare, get set up, do pick and rolls and stuff like that. And that's why they struggle against teams like Houston, because Houston is Gobert can't catch up. You know what I mean? But so that definitely is an advantage. I really like the Pelicans today. I think they're in a pretty good spot here. So that's really what we got for this video. If you want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, make sure to check out the site, DFSCheatSheet.com. And hey, good luck on our guys' contest tonight, all right? Peace out.